All right, everyone, welcome back into another props video. Going to be touching on the top prop bets in the NBA today. Let's go ahead and get into it. But first, we're going to get into a quick recap from yesterday. All right, guys, so yesterday was Flex Friday on PrizePicks. Ended up going 4 for 6 with that bet slip, 5 for 9 on total or in total on the day yesterday, putting us at 27 for 39 on the week. So obviously been a great week thus far. Creighton just did not end up showing up at all. I think Steven Ashworth had like 8 turnovers, which was annoying, and Ryan Kalkbrenner, 1 shot attempt. Like, it was just weird. But all the other ones kind of cashed pretty comfortably. None of them are really other sweats other than that. None of the bets were sweats there. So honestly, a little bit better of a day than I expected. And the nice thing about these two is that they did end up being bets on underdog that were a little bit overvalued. So you could have ended up trying to potentially middle. And then just in general, I want to show you guys this on underdog. And I hate when other people do this, honestly, because it's like, ooh, look at these bets that I didn't give you guys, but that also hit for me. I don't know. It comes off as disingenuous, really, to me. But anyways, the reason I'm showing you guys this is because college basketball has been pretty darn successful lately, especially on underdog. So I ended up betting on the top 8 prop bets. We had a lot of big prop bets in terms of us getting edges. So I do think that's worth calling out. College basketball has been a nice source of success on both sides, a little bit more so on underdog though. But obviously going 4 for 6, no complaints there. Let's go ahead now and jump on into the NBA board that we have today. And I kind of want to go game by game here. And so let's go ahead and start out with the early game that we have, which is going to be Utah versus the New York Knicks. This is the game has a potential to be a blowout with Utah still probably being a little bit shorthanded. I'm expecting them to be without Jordan Clarkson and probably Walker Kessler, although we are getting some prop bets here for Walker Kessler as it sits right now. Because we're getting bets for Walker Kessler, we're not going to be getting any bets for John Collins. And I bring that up because John Collins will be someone that probably gets a big bump and continues to be productive. So in terms of players that we are getting prop bets on for Utah, we are getting Colin Sexton, just in general. And I do like Colin Sexton. I do like the idea of betting on him today. At the same time, the lines do feel a little bit tight that we are getting for him. Like, I wouldn't mind his over points on like a traditional sports book. I could be talked into this one. This one's not bad to me. He is someone that averages almost 24 points per 36 with Jordan Clarkson off the court. Does get a pretty decent bump in his usage as well. Averages about 26% usage rate with Clarkson off the court. Keontae George is certainly interesting, and I want to bring him up because his under fantasy score is a bet that's really popping up as a good bet, and I don't think I really agree with that. We see his line is at 26. We see the average sportsbook line, if we round up, would be basically at 26 as well. Would slightly be favoring the under there. I think this is the bet that I want to stay away from. His per 36 production with Clarkson off the court is about 34 fantasy points per 36, and it is a blowout. Maybe he only gets 30 minutes in this game, but that's a spot where I'm choosing to stay away from. So let's go ahead now and jump on into this next game. And so in this next game, we got Orlando versus Detroit, and this is going to be an interesting spot. So let's go ahead and start with this top prop bet that's popping up. We got KCP for under his fantasy score, one that he has consistently gotten. I mean, and in the one game that he's gotten the over on, he really kind of struggled there as well. Only 19.5 for fantasy score there. Sure, the matchup with Detroit's going to be a little bit intriguing. Detroit's kind of thin in tonight's game. Cade Cunningham is going to be out, and so maybe that just means that KCP ends up getting a little bit more run than he normally does, but we're only projecting him to get right around 31 minutes. So all in all, this should be a good one for us. The only data point that we see, projection data slightly likes the over, and DVP kind of likes the over as well. But at the same time, I get why Vegas is favoring the under there, and I also would be favoring the under there. Let's go ahead now and jump into Jaden Ivey. So what's interesting about Jaden Ivey here is that his fantasy score, sure, it's like almost a 50-50 split for the under, but his fantasy score average line is at 28. The projection data is at 28.5. And I find that fascinating because the average sportsbook line is, the points, rebounds, and assists line is telling us to bet the over here. That's one of his better bets, and that doesn't correlate. Maybe, I mean, it has to do with the turnovers here, like 3.5 turnovers. So if he gets 4 turnovers, it wouldn't help his over fantasy score. But it is interesting. Like, to me, if I'm betting on his over PRA, I might as well just bet on his over fantasy score as well. I think it's worth calling out his per 36 production with Cade Cunningham off the court. He averages 42 fantasy points per 36 with Cade Cunningham off the court. Has the highest usage rate on the team with Cade Cunningham off the court. A 33% usage rate. Averages 25 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists with them off the court. And so all those reasons should be reasons why we're looking at him to have a good game. And sure, he might have struggled in the last couple of games. The minutes weren't there for him recently as well, where he just struggled. And so obviously, anytime we're betting on someone, we need them to have a good night shooting. Again, just given the uses that he has, that opportunity should be there in a greater way. And I think we're getting a lower line than than we typically would be had he continued to crush recently. Now, it is worth calling out he is going against Orlando, not exactly a matchup that you typically want to be going out of your way to target. Another thing that I find interesting in this matchup is that Tobias Harris fantasy score under is one that's kind of popping up as an okay bet. I'm not going to touch that one as well. I would agree more so with the projection data here. Tobias Harris is someone that you just expect to take a bigger role. He is someone that gets more usage in this matchup as well. Again, with Cade Cunningham off the court. So not exactly one I'm going out of my way to target there. So let's go ahead now and jump on into this next game. So we have the Chicago Bulls here, and the Chicago Bulls are still without Patrick Williams in this game. When Patrick Williams is off the court, AO is someone that gets an increase in production and minutes, so not exactly a bet that I want to be targeting here as well with his under fantasy score. Same thing with Kobe White. Like I thought we'd be getting some good edges on them. I would just say that the lines we are getting for those two, to me, seem to be correct, so they're not bets that I want to be going out of my way to target. Now, one bet that I like is going to be Brandon Clark to get under 21 for his PrizePicks fantasy score. We see the average sportsbook line would have this closer to 20. We see the projection data would also have it closer to 20. He's someone that hasn't been getting that many minutes. We know with Memphis, though, it is a little bit of a guessing game with the minutes. He is someone that could randomly get 26 minutes in this game and usually crushes over. We know that's the part of it. But typically speaking, he's not going to get the minutes. Now, the matchup's pretty solid, but we do see he has consistently been getting this under here. And so, again, easier matchup. It wouldn't be surprising to see him get the over here. Maybe the game ends up being a blowout and gets a little bit extra run. But for the most part, I can see why the data likes this at about a 53% likelihood for the under to hit. And I'm on board with that. And then after that, we go ahead and get into the Golden State Warriors game. And personally, I don't think we're really getting any big or good prop bets here in terms of edges. So we'll jump on into the last game. Lakers versus Denver. I believe Jokic is expected to be back tonight. He had a child recently, so he's been out for personal reasons. There's always like the baby narrative. You know, will he go out and play well, or will it be the opposite? I always like to bet on players going out and playing well. After that, you know, just kind of playing well for your kid type of narrative there. So let's just take a peek. Are we getting any good bets for him? Maybe points and assists. Maybe just goes out, gets a triple-double tonight, something fun like that. I don't know. I could see it. If you guys want to buy into that narrative, by all means, go for it. Worth calling out the prop line difference that we're getting for him between PrizePicks and Underdog. One point rebound and assist difference. That could be the difference between it cashing or not cashing. So worth calling that out as well. And then we did just get some more bets that I kind of want to look into here real quick. So we got Simon's lines here for him. He is someone that you would think would go out and play well. Last game out against Houston, obviously that did not occur. This is in the back end of a back-to-back. He was someone that was questionable, and maybe he ends up seeing this game on the back end of a back-to-back. I could see that happening. If he says Jeremy Grant would be someone that gets a bump in his usage, Shaedon Sharpe for sure would be someone that we would want to be looking at then. Now, it was only an illness, but if that were to happen, this would be a nice little edge that we are getting there. And then from there, I feel like the lines are pretty much correct. Donovan Clingan did get into foul trouble last game, like 3 fouls like early on in that game. Obviously, if he stays out of foul trouble, he should be able to crush this over. Hopefully that means like more minutes, but not exactly a bet that I feel like we need to go out of our way to make. Then one other bet I want to call out as well, just real quick, is going to be LaMelo Ball. He's getting a pretty good matchup in this one. Bridges is out for the Hornets, and we know LaMelo Ball has had a massive usage rate this season. 43% usage rate with Bridges off the court, averages 38 points per 36, about 6 rebounds and 6 assists, 55 fantasy points per 36 as well. So again, I like this more as a traditional bet here, guys, for LaMelo Ball to get over 29.5 points. That being said, the Bucks kind of got cheated out of the game last time out against Charlotte. I think they're going to be motivated to play well kind of just because of that. And so maybe just this game ends up being a blowout. They are almost 8-point dogs there, or 7.5-point dogs there, the Charlotte Hornets are. So I could see that being a case in which maybe LaMelo Ball does struggle. Maybe this game is a blowout. And so real quickly, I do want to show you guys the cheat sheet as well. We are getting a lot of great college football bets. If you guys want to make these ones, by all means, go for it. I will be including this EV bet that we currently have right now in the 9-to-5 PrizePicks bet of the day. And let's go ahead and get into that. But first, just a quick reminder of the promo code that's currently going on the website. Use the promo code Keep Cashing to get 20% off your first 9 to 5 membership, or if you guys are a returning member, take advantage of that. And again, guys, if you're thinking about signing up with PrizePicks and Underdog, just make sure you use the promo codes provided in the link in the description below. They've also been shown throughout this video, so take advantage of that, guys. But looking at the top prop bets that we have today, these are the ones I'm rolling with. It is admittedly a tighter board today when you're just looking at NBA and even college basketball as it sits right now. Friday ended up being a pretty solid day across the board. Really solid day on Underdog. That was expected, though. We were getting so many good edges, whereas today, not as much. It is a little bit early. I do expect us to get better bets throughout the day, though. But this is what we're looking at today, guys. That's going to be all for this video. Again, make sure to give a like and subscribe. That does help out the channel a lot. That's going to be all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Head on over to 9to5sports.com. Get access to those tools. Thank you guys for watching. Good luck. And as always, let's keep cashing.